Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, MP for Wesley draws attention to what he says is the neglect of agriculture in his constituency. Prime Minister Skerrit defends public officers whom he says have been attacked by the leader of the opposition. And the DAIC explores a plan to introduce parking meters in the city. The details coming up.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
First up in the news, parliamentary representative for the Wesley constituency is not happy with the management of agriculture in the country. During the budget debate, Ezekiel Basil zeroed in on the deteriorating condition of farm access roads in his constituency.
The BAM program affected the constituents of Wesley. This program was funded by the European Union, and the intention was to attend to feeder roads, tissue culture, plantlets, fertilizers, fungicides for the control of black sigatoka, and other support services. Mr. Speaker, I have no idea who is accountable for the atrocity committed against the farmers on this feeder road section of the BAM project. I think someone should answer. It has failed. It has failed miserably. Concrete wall, no drainage, the roads completely destroyed roads that they were working on in the Wesley constituency. The Jackmo Road, gone. That is road in addition to the BAM. The Joe Palmtree Road, very important farm road, gone. The Simpa Road, gone. Mamba Road, gone. Monrame, gone. The Constant Spring Road, that is a total disgrace. And I'm appealing to this government. Wash your hands on the people who are responsible if you're not responsible, and hold somebody responsible for what have happened to the feeder roads under the BAM project. It is just not right. That Constant Spring Road also serves as a link road between Western and Fort Hill. And it's important, very important road. But you cannot utilize it at all at this stage.
Basil says his constituency is a farming community and failure to assist them shows a lack of interest in their well-being.
We have lost the market for bananas to Europe. We have lost the market to the Northern Caribbean. We have destroyed the Hawks's Strait. We have provided no support for boat owners carrying agricultural produce in the region. And if you don't believe me, ask Myrtle Africa, a prime example of someone who has suffered under the hands of the government. WISE refused to provide money for support of movements of agricultural produce, we continue to finance LEAT for man-made disasters. But our farmers in the productive sector refuse to support them, and our transporters refuse to support them. But the man-made disaster in LEAT, we're putting money into it. I call on this government to seriously look at assisting the farmers, poor, humble boat owners in Dominica, in getting back to the feet to move the agricultural produce out of Dominica.
The leader of the parliamentary opposition has been accused by a former member of his party of misrepresenting certain facts concerning the CBI funds. In his budget rebuttal on Wednesday, the opposition leader said, based on the information in the official gazette and his calculations, significant amounts of CBI money was unaccounted for.
3,961 persons received the passports of Dominica in the 5-month period, August to December of 2018. Remember I asked you all whether you read the documents that come to you? I had a reason for that. Because our passports are being sold for $100,000 US each. But there are persons who get passports as part of a family package, for example, where the price to each member would average out at about $56.25 thousand US, not 100,000. And investors in hotel projects are required to pay $50,000 US per passport into the treasury. So we are going to assume that the average price paid for each of the 3,961 CBI passports sold between August and December of last year was not $100,000, but half of that, $50,000. Each of them. Multiply now. You have a calculator? 3,961 passports at US 50,000 per passport is equal to 198 million US dollars, or 537.9 million EC dollars. Remember, the figure reported in these estimates, or revenue for the whole year, not 5 months, the whole 12 months, the figure reported is $226 million. But we didn't sell passports for the 5 months alone. The figure they gave us, they're not for 5 months, for the whole year. So let us do the math. For the whole year, 5 months, 537 million. Full year, we prorate and we project $1,291 million. That is what the evidence suggests. $1,291 million. How did we end up with only 226 million, over $1 billion less? Where the money gone?
During debate on Thursday, Minister Joseph Isaac sought to chastise the opposition leader for his interpretation of the figures and releasing erroneous information to the world.
Madam Speaker, how could you come to this honorable house, go in a gazette, take 3,000 names and take a calculator and just calculate? How are you accountable? How are you honest? No. My approach will go to the accounts committee, just for the public accounts committee, remember, as a member. My approach would be to go to talk to the financial secretary, to go and ask her permission to talk to the junior officer to her, to go to the director of audit, to talk to Mr. Nanton, and get an understanding. That's why I was always well informed when I come to this honorable house. You know. I would go to the people who are assigned to do a duty for the country so I could get my facts straight. So see what you have done. You have deliberately given out wrong information about your country in the honorable house, and it is spreading on Facebook. I mean, come on.
Isaac has also accused the opposition leader of attacking the integrity of the professionals at the Ministry of Finance.
When you are delivering, you were supposed to say, after discussions with X, Y, and Z person, you come to the conclusion that that is it. And, Madam Speaker, if we were not getting parliamentary immunity there, in the public domain, he could be sued for something like that. Because it is showing that you are not responsible, you did not find out what the facts are, you don't know what the truth is, and to me, here that I did not even go to get details on the matter. I said, in my basic understanding of economics and public finance, that the matter of people receiving our citizenship vis-a-vis investment would be an issue of foreign direct investment, and it will not show itself in the consolidated fund, so it will not be reported. Another one would be that, yes, there are 3,000 people, but all the different people listed there will not be paying the same amount of money. That is basic again.
And Dominica's Prime Minister and Minister for Finance has defended the staff of the Ministry of Finance from what he says are attacks on their integrity by the leader of the opposition. The opposition leader mentioned the Financial Secretary Rosamond Edwards by name in Parliament while making a case that the reported revenue from the CBI presented in the budget was inconsistent with figures in the Gazette. The Prime Minister has called for the condemnation of the opposition leader using his immunity in Parliament to launch attacks on public officers.
I speak, Madam Speaker, of the statements he continues to make in pointing out some public officers and giving the world and the country the impression that these public officers are involved in serious contraventions of the laws of Dominica. Madam Speaker, I have worked with the Financial Secretary for the last 18 or so years. That is Mrs. Rosamond Edwards. I can say to the Parliament and I can say to the people of Dominica that this lady is somebody with the highest professional ethics in Dominica.
I wish the members would listen to what is being said by this Prime Minister.
The highest professional ethics. This is a lady who has always conducted her responsibilities, her duties, in conformity with the laws of Dominica. The laws of Dominica. And if the leader of the opposition goes to a public officer and demands information from that public officer, and that public officer is not in a position in accordance with the law to give him that information, that public officer cannot give it to you. And if that public officer does, he or she would be contravening his duties or his responsibilities under law. Because every one of us, Madam Speaker, including the Prime Minister, we all get our authority from the Constitution and from the laws of Dominica.
Mr. Skerrit says he is astonished that the Public Service Union has not condemned the opposition leader's continued attacks on public officers.
The other officer who he attacks in his submissions is the Accountant General. The Accountant General, Mrs. Spinal. Madam Speaker, You don't see this lady, you don't hear her, but she works more than 40 hours a week, facilitating the work of the state in a diligent, prudent, and responsible manner, and in accordance with the laws. She follows the law, Madam Speaker, to the T. Much to the consternation of some, but she follows the law to the T. And I believe that it is my duty and my responsibility to stand in defense of these people because they are unable to defend themselves, Madam Speaker.
The Youth Development Division this week honored two long-serving members of staff, namely Shirley Alexander and Gregory Revere. They were honored during the organization's 46 Skills Training Program graduation ceremony when 92 young people graduated. Gregory Revere will contest the Marigot seat on a DLP ticket at the next election. Shirley Alexander recently retired. You're watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after this.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
L'anisine tout partout. Attention si vous êtes homme et bien femme. Visitez place santé pour examiner corps. Ça c'est un nid pour yo ouais si la ni pièce moun au lion qui ni maladie TB et bien maladie sexuelle. En compagnie moun qui ni maladie HIV P ni TB aussi. Savent qui la ni guérison pour TB. Ou ça vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Parlez by docteur. Prends responsabilité. Aidez du bout de si maladie TB et HIV. Pour agir tout le monde pour examiner corps yo.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
The Dominica Association of Industry and Commerce is taking steps towards resolving parking problems and traffic congestion in the city. Parry Bellot says the private sector is seeking to take on a proposal to introduce parking meters in the city. Bellot says it's easier said than done as there would be a number of issues to be considered.
Of course, it has to go through all the government authorities and there'll be a lot of consultation with the head of traffic, which is the chief of police, and other stakeholders, some of the obviously even the city council and things like that. But the first step would be to establish what are the costs of introducing parking meters in terms of a pilot project. And our basic concern was you can use coins in most of them, but which coins? American coins, European EC coins? I doubt that. So we had to find out what's possible, or something called tokens. A specific token for a parking meter, and depending on how long you're staying using the parking space, then you're putting coins. Actually, in our research, we have found out that they've gone a lot further on than coins now. Credit cards and certain facilities that you can pay in advance, and your name is one thing, and then you just register your name and code, and you're allowed to park there for 15 minutes, half an hour, things like that. So, it's got advanced. But we're in the first phase of establishing what the cost would be for a pilot project, whether it's 2 parking meters or 4 parking meters and so on.
No final decision yet on where exactly the first parking meters will be introduced in the city.
A clear example would be by the post office and the ferry thing, so that people dropping off people know they just have 15 minutes initially to drop off their people, and then they must move, which allows another person to come in and so on, so they don't spend, the whole hour there waiting to see their good ones off and occupying very, very valuable space around that area. People wanting to stop, pick up their mail and so on. So I'm very pleased we're taking that initiative. I'm proud of the private sector for being part of this. And my company, Parbel, also working with some of our colleagues, consultants in that, because it could be a big project.
Mixed reaction from the Secretary-Treasurer of the Waterfront and Allied Workers Union on the 2019-2020 national budget. WOW's Curtis Augustus says the no-tax budget and the fast-tracking of appointments of teachers are among the positives.
There are other things in the presentation which members of the trade union fraternity would consider to be positive. I cannot speak on behalf of the teachers, but the information that teachers will no longer have to spend 8, 9, and 10 years before they get appointed is, in fact, as I see it, positive. Because what we have experienced in Dominica is that a number of teachers have been in operation for a number of years, and they do not have security of tenure in terms of their appointment for their jobs that they are performing. There are some other areas in the presentation of that budget which presents some ease for the people of Dominica, and particularly the mothers, those that have to buy Pampers for their children. And of course, we are finding it that some of the senior citizens have got to be using those on a more regular basis. So the fact that they have, in fact, given those persons and those categories some ease is, in fact, a positive.
On the other hand, Augustus is concerned about provisions for a full delegation from the labor unions to have a presence at the ILO's 2020 conference in Geneva.
What happened is that after the commitment that was given by Prime Minister Skerrit, we had a setback by the passage of the hurricane, and therefore we were not able to be present. I didn't get it in terms of the presentation, whereas it might be there, but I didn't get it that there were provisions to ensure that we have a full delegation. And I think that it would not be a good thing if in 2020 we do not mount a full delegation to the ILO conference in Geneva. And I think in addition to that, the meetings that takes place in the region, that we should also prepare for, budget for these meetings, because the ILO would like to be advised as to what is the position of the region in relation to certain aspects of the operations of the ILO, whether it is in fact the ratification of conventions, or whether it is in fact in relation to the reporting on the conventions that we have ratified.
Meantime, Augustus says it would be helpful if WOW could have received a timely copy of the budget as obtained in the past. He believes this would facilitate more informed comments on the budget.
Unlike before, we were not issued with a copy of that budget presentation so that we could look into it and to dissect it in the fashion that we normally do, to see what is there for labor and what is there for the workers of Dominica. I would like to propose that such be not repeated in the future, that we be given a copy of the presentation of the budget, whether it is a day after, so that we ourselves could do some justice to it in terms of giving informed responses to the budget, as opposed to we relying on our memory in terms of what have been presented.
And the Golden Drum Awards takes place this weekend. It's part of Emancipation Celebrations 2019. The Golden Drum Awards ceremony is scheduled for the Alliance Française on Saturday,
which is our annual Golden Drum Awards ceremony and concert where we present awards to outstanding persons, groups. 7 of them will receive Golden Drum Awards. 5 of them will receive the special recognition. Golden Drum, you have to be involved in culture for at least 20 years or more. Special recognition is less, can be 15, can be 10 years of involvement. But if you're making that impact, if you're being effective in whatever you do, then we want to show some form of recognition. So that's where we have the special recognition awards. The Golden Drum would be for those who have been more into arts and culture through the years and making a significant impact in the community in Dominica and sometimes in the region and in the world as well. So we want to recognize these people as well.
Saturday's Golden Drum Awards begins at 8 p.m. This year's Emancipation Celebrations theme is promoting a culture of excellence.
A new in-home experience is here. All your services bundled into one simple plan. Faster, more reliable Wi-Fi so that you can binge, play, and stream uninterrupted. Unlimited Flow local landline minutes mean you can talk and talk and talk. Plus the best in TV entertainment with over 120 channels and 29 in HD. All for $160 a month with the new all-in bundle. With Flow, it only gets better.
Here are some tips to reduce mosquito presence in and around your home. Keep water storage containers properly covered. Remove containers that can collect water from your surroundings. Keep garbage bins tightly covered. Pick up your litter and remove all tires from your yard. Keep gutters free of leaves and twigs to prevent stagnant water. Prevent Zika, dengue, and chikungunya. Fight the bite. This is a public service announcement from the Dominica Red Cross.
This message is supported by Flow.
Flow helps you stay connected to what matters. Simple plans and a better network mean that you can enjoy 7 days of unlimited social messaging, 3 gigabytes of reliable data to use as you like, 700 local anywhere calls and texts, with the always-on prepaid plan, all for $29. Keep your number when you switch to Dominica's most reliable LTE network. Buy wherever you top up. Switch to Flow. It only gets better.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. MP for Wesley draws attention to what he says is neglect of agriculture in his constituency. Prime Minister Skerrit defends public officers whom he says have been attacked by the leader of the opposition. And the DAIC explores a plan to introduce parking meters in the city. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You may access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Have a good weekend.